Democratic presidential primary debate tonight.
Yes, round one already in the books. 10 candidates tonight. However, there were 10 candidates last night. And immigration, climate change, health care, and President Trump were all the topics debated, with Democrats aiming their message at working class voters.
You should elect somebody who's been in the foxhole with you the last 20 or 30 years.
My message was, hey, we better be willing to take bold stances, not be looking over our shoulder all the time.
President Trump tweeted his thoughts about the debate with one word: boring. But Washington Governor Jay Inslee generated this response when asked about America's biggest threat.
Biggest threat to the security of the United States is Donald Trump, and there's no question.
Congresswoman.
All right, so let's talk about all of this with our political panel. Republican strategist and president of Battleground Strategies, Stephen Thompson, and Democratic supporter and Milwaukee Alderman Cavalier Johnson. Alderman Johnson, let me begin with you. Last night was the first look for many voters. It's a crowded 2020 Democratic presidential primary. Did anyone stand out for you?
Well, thank you, Charles. I think that last night was a very crowded debate last night. However, what we're seeing here is that if what holds up in 2016 and 2018 happens in 2020, the new president of the United States is going to be a Democrat. We had a big pool in 2016, we had a big pool in 2018 as well. If that happens, we're going to have a new Democratic president in 2020.
Stephen Thompson, you're a veteran of these sort of debates. The Republicans were in this same spot in 2015 going into the 2016 election. What did you see in this debate and what we might see tonight? Any similarities, any standouts?
Sure. Well, one, I'm glad to not have to be a part of this process like I was 4 years ago with 20 candidates running at the same time. It's really difficult with 10 candidates on stage to cut through, but I do think that Cory Booker and Julian Castro, both had pretty good performances in the days ahead. What they're going to have to do is capitalize on that. Can they bring in new donors? Can they recruit new volunteers, new endorsements? Because if they don't, their performance last night will be for nothing.
Alderman Johnson, we were talking earlier, you thought the diversity of the candidates on the stage was a standout issue or point.
Absolutely. Is one of the things that was most impressive to me. We had 3 women for the first time in presidential debates on the stage. We had 3 Spanish speakers we came to find out last night. We also had a veteran, an African American, and a Latino all vying for the presidency of the United States. I think that's telling about the Democrats' position as a party that's a big tent and has a place for everybody.
Stephen Thompson, certainly President Trump was talked about. Were you surprised you didn't hear more about him or less about him?
A little bit, but I do think that when you look at the fact that there's 10 candidates on stage over the course of 2 hours, you need to bring across your points as quickly as possible. I think Cory Booker spoke the most, and he only got about 10 minutes of talking time over the course of 2 hours. So because of that, anytime you bring Donald Trump into it, you're distracting from your own message and telling your story to voters, which is what they need to do in these critical debates early on.
All right, let's look at the lineup for tonight. 10 more candidates, and they're talking about the killer bees in this one. You got Buttigieg, you got Bernie, and you got Biden. Alderman Johnson, what will you be looking for?
I'll be looking for a candidate's message, just like we were looking for last night. As I said before, it's good to have a large field. I think it presents an opportunity for the electorate to have a diversity of viewpoints to look at. And I think that any of these candidates last night or tonight are going to be able to provide a stark contrast to President Trump in the general election debates, and will do a good job serving as president where they elected.
And Stephen, Biden, I should say President Trump has already made it clear he thinks Biden's going to be the guy. What do you think Biden does tonight to sort of look like he's the only one who could take on President Trump?
Well, Joe Biden is known for having good debates in the past. He's also been pretty gaffe prone as well. So Joe Biden is really in a tier of him on his own right now. His question is going to be, when he gets attacked on stage, because somebody's going to draw a contrast, is he going to punch down at a lower tier candidate, or is he going to try to stay above the fray and look more presidential?
Yeah, that will be an interesting point to watch. Again, you can see tonight's debate on today's TMJ4 starting at 8 o'clock. Thank you both for being here.